I hope you guys can hear me. I'm wearing my lav microphone and I'm using a USB um, hub that the iPad supports. It says mic and speaker, so I think it should work on the microphone, 3.5 millimeter. I like using external microphones when I record, and if you see this microphone before, it's the same one. My first few videos, I bought a cheap one at Five Below just because I like to buy crap. I might turn it into a Bob Barker microphone, actually. No, if you don't know what the Barker microphone was on The Price is Right, it was a modded microphone, actually. It wasn't a real microphone you could like buy from like B&H or some vendor like that. But this one, I bought $30 at Best Buy in 2022, 2023. So my new iPhone and my iPad does not have a headset port, but my older iPad and my iPhone 6S does. So it's still a use for it. I have a Winds sock for this, but it's somewhere up here. I just found it recently. But I just like controlling the audio. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't like cell phones now because the cell phones, they're using like streaming audio, like as if you're watching a TV show when you turn on speaker. It's too much noise. I like ISDN telephone quality. It's 64 kilobits a second. Humans don't need to hear anything beyond 64 kilobits a second. My podcast, I think I exported 64 kilobits because how much different do I sound when I'm at 128 to a megabit a second, really? Sorry if I'm getting too technical. It's a long day for me. I woke up after 8. And then at 10 o'clock, I went to the town dump and the transfer station and got rid of 10 plus years of financial records, receipts, paper shreddings, credit card offers, how there's so much personal identifiable information and stuff like that. Finally got to the bottom of it, I think on Thursday. It was in about, I think, 6 to 8 different plastic bags. And I just finally put it all down. And I already was feeling kind of relieved because part of that weight was lifted. There was multiple bags in the garage, in my storage unit, down the road. And the reason why I kept them all together is just I wanted to like contextualize how much stuff I was just, and also making sure all the stuff was dumped at the same time. So you don't throw the bags over the cutout, but it was all like snowy, shredded, white paper all over the ground. I have pictures of it. I'll share it later. So I got home about afternoon, and then went in the pool. This is like my 5th or 6th time. Didn't go into the deep end, just because I literally dipped my feet in there on the shallow end, and I did that for like a half hour, and then I went to start trimming the backyard because there's a lot of different weeds growing around. You can't get into the backyard because it's all grown in. And then I was working in the escape. I was trying to work on like a mobile work service for my production stuff. Cause, it looks like a news van. Well, like I was doing that actually before I went in the pool. And then I was taking up all the tiger lilies and stuff of that nature. We have over 200 stems I pulled, dead stems I pulled from our tiger lilies that only bloom for like a week. Yes, 200 plus. I literally counted 167 in the backyard, 100 and something in the front. On the side, I didn't count that yet. There's a lot. So I was, after I got home from the transfer station, through all that, just was working with my hands. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit or less. It's a little bit humid. We're getting some the smoke from the wildfires out on the west coast, so it's kind of makes it look a little hazy. But it's really nice compared to what we were doing with 100 degree with heat index. So I don't like being out in the hot sun in general. And so that's why I was doing all that today. You really get me to be outside for like a half an afternoon, and then I went to the mall, and that was literally I didn't see the Windsor Girl, unfortunately, but I was it was a sensory overload. Eating now what's called the food pavilion. God, Simon had to upify the mall in New Hampshire, for God's sakes alive. They had some pizza there, and just the noise, like, literally just went right through my ears. I couldn't hear a damn thing around me. And then my mom and I broke off, and she went to see the family member, and I went to some window shopping. And just I was at Hollister actually, and there was clink clank noises by the checkout counter. If you guys know where Hollister is, the checkout counter is like in the middle of the store, so the discount is up behind it. It sounded like the clang was coming from like behind me. The noise was carrying around like crazy, and so I'm wondering if it's age, unfortunately. But it was weird, like 20 minutes before 7 this evening, everyone was going on a mass exodus. I thought the mall was going to close because I was going to get picked up till about 8 o'clock. And so fortunately, the mall was still open, so I went, did some shopping. It got really quiet really quickly. It was like 10 a.m., at 7 p.m. kind of thing. The peak hours went down. And, yeah. And so tomorrow morning I gotta finish picking up the house. We have my service agreement, my annual contract with the agency. It's gonna be on Wednesday, so I gotta pick up the room here because they gotta make sure I'm in a safe living environment. And I did a lot of cleaning up this week, so yeah. But I thought it would be interesting kind of just talk a little bit about the noise, too, because I've never had sensory issues until the last 5 years. It's weird because with the pandemic, things were more like, people were more spread out. But I was at the Burlington Mall in Massachusetts for the sales tax holiday last weekend, and I remember we were leaving the Cheesecake Factory to go into the mall, and there's nobody in front of us. There's nobody, like, within, like, because it's a big mall, so it's like 500 feet away. You could see crowds of people, but I could hear that noise go right down to me from like 500 feet away. It was it was weird how the noises carry around and how the brain is kind of like processing where the noise is coming from. It's really a brain thing, I think. But I've never been a sensory, like, as sensitive to sensory as I was until I was older. Maybe the medication kind of dulled me because I went to New York City, Manhattan, like, when I was in my teenage years. I'm trying to remember. I went twice when I was 13, once when I was 13, twice as a 14, I think, twice as a 15-year-old. But Manhattan was a different world in the early aughts, especially after 9/11. Before and after 9/11, actually. When I went there to stay for a week in 2017, oh my God, it was bad. The trauma of Manhattan of 2017 versus, I mean, it's a different Manhattan now. Look at where it is. It's going down the dumps, according to YouTube, right? So, I don't think autism or autistic disorders age really well. Today was just really weird. Maybe because it's back to school people. I mean, the malls ain't dead here in the Northeast, particularly in New England. It's still very, um, it's still a place. Retail is dead in other places, but not so in others. Um, but, I guess I thought people would come and watch me. I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you heard me. I did check the microphone to make sure it's passing through. But if you don't hear me, sorry. I'll do another recording tomorrow, another stream tomorrow. It's the first time I'm testing out with the hub. I came home and only realized my iPad was out of storage. I thought I cleared it out just the other day. It's hard to. I have a 64 gig iPad. It went down a little bit to kind of gain on the performance. But, alright, I'll just sign off for the night. Talk about more pressing issues as the time goes along, but just like if you guys get a little off topic combo. Alright, I'll sign off.